Hi, I'm Jules, Volunteer Coordinator for Shire Shorebirds. Our group was established to raise awareness of the shorebirds that are still stubbornly holding out in Port Hacking because they need something so trivial as a place to eat and live. People are finding it hard enough to be able to afford a suitable place in Sydney. Imagine having to secure a space with no money and demanding prime real estate. Without people power to stand beside the shorebirds, they won't stand a chance. Some people think, well, you can just push them out and they'll find somewhere else to go. Unfortunately, this is one of those things called an alternative fact. Our talk is called Help Me, which also handily serves as our agenda. So what will we be covering? How we can help our port hacking shorebirds, how much more important eating is for the birds both before and after migration, why our location is so important to share with our shorebirds, as there is so little space left that is still suitable for their needs as we keep increasing our space and decreasing theirs, why birds need peace when resting or feeding to help them migrate successfully, where the birds migrate to and from and perils faced, and without our help it is entirely possible some of our shorebirds could go extinct within our lifetime. What the volunteers are doing on D-Band Spit, protecting our shorebirds, is not unique. We are one small chapter of a much bigger story the few Australian beaches still able to sustain shorebirds undertakes each spring. A volunteer network swinging into action, working together to help ensure the shorebirds, one of the most endangered species groups, has a chance to survive into the future. So what is a shorebird, I hear you ask? They are a collection of wading birds that spend the majority of their life around water or wetlands, including the beaches, intertidal areas and rocky reefs. They have a variety of bill lengths and shapes, and their legs are also different sizes. These adaptations spread the feeding load across the mudflats so they do not compete for a single food source. The long probing bill of the eastern curlew is ideal for fishing out worms and crustaceans from the deep mud, whereas the short stubby bill of a double-banded plover can push aside stones and shells on the foreshore. Here on D-Band Spit we have both types of what are considered two groups of shorebirds, those that are resident, they live here all year round, and those that are migratory. The pied oyster catchers are our residents, and they nest on D-Band Spit during spring. They are endangered and are desperately trying, after a 20-year absence, to nest here in what we like to think of as our big backyard, but is, in fact, theirs. We have a large number of migratory shorebirds that fly to and from the Arctic Circle, arriving around the 1st of August and departing around the end of March. As they are departing, a group of double-banded plovers arrives from New Zealand, and they return just as the others start arriving back from the Arctic, so the beach contains migratory birds all year round. We also see a group of birds that are also listed as endangered, but are classified as seabirds, called little terns. They migrate to and from the Bering Sea north of Japan and nest on Australian beaches in spring. So the beach is a pretty busy place, even without the people. There are also a number of other interesting waders that use the beach and tidal feeding flats of Mainbar all year round, but this talk concentrates on our most endangered birds, the shorebirds. So before we get into the presentation, let's look at what the D-Band Spit shorebirds look like.